Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm back after a little bit of a break. I was a little busy with midterms, but now I got some more time again, and I'm playing the game after the recent corrupted weapons update. These weapons are not bad, but not great. I think they're cool, but they're not the best weapons available. But I did want to make a video featuring one of them at least, so that's what I did. I picked Corrupted Deceit. I also kind of used Corrupted Rune Pistol, but like basically just at the very beginning of the fight, so it's not super important, and it's not a build around it. But let's get into how I managed to destroy Tal'Ratha so quickly, and the build that I used to do it. And if you enjoy this type of video and want to see more, it would be great if you can like and subscribe. So to start off with the weapons, as I mentioned, I'm using Corrupted Deceit. This is a worse version of Deceit, really. I'm not gonna lie to you, normal Deceit is definitely better, but Corrupted Deceit is not the worst, I guess is a nice way to put it. The problem is normal Deceit is so good that its corrupted counterpart, even if it's an average gun, is just gonna look worse by comparison. But it has a really cool mod, which fires a spinning blade, and I love this mod. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't always understand why it goes where it goes. And some of the bounces it takes are kind of wild, but it's pretty cool overall. And then for the mutator, put on supercharger for the charge speed as well as your 15% crit chance, which is just great. The Corrupted Rune Pistol version I was running has twisting wounds in it, and really I just use it for twisting wounds so I can get the bleeding effect because I have a brace of whetstone in my amulet slot, and melee weapon not super important. As you can see here for the archetypes, I'm running Hunter and Handler. Hunter in the prime slots are Dead to Rights and Hunter's Focus. Hunter's Focus is basically needed to put this gun to high enough damage that you can do these quick kills with it. And then Handler, we're going to run Attack Dog, and I'm running Handler because the dog can bleed enemies. Also, looking back, I found I was making a lot of Hunter Gunslinger builds, so I wanted to switch it up and try something a little bit different. Funny actually too, because I recall my first Deceit build had Handler as the secondary as well. The nice thing is your dog can bleed targets, which works well with your Abrasive Whetstone amulet. Unfortunately during this fight I think my dog was mostly occupied with the ad a lot of the time, but I did get a couple bleeds I believe. For our amulets and our rings, as I mentioned before, Abrasive Whetstone just for the bleeding and crit chance. I'm basically just giga sweating for max damage on this build because the gun is not quite as strong as I would have hoped for. Then Zanya's Malice because it is a Deceit after all, and you are going to be weak spotting once you get the mod procced, which is great, so want as much weak spot damage as we can get. Akari's Warband, perfect dodging for crit chance and crit damage is great. We just use it mostly at the beginning of the fight, because we're going to be trying to strafe as much as possible. Archer's Crest for the decreased weapon charge time, just so we can be shooting off our fusion rifle that little bit quicker, but it is a wonderful ring to have for any fusion rifle or bow. And Probability Cord, because our crit chance is going to be through the roof as we're running Hunter with Hunter's Focus. Hunter's Focus alone gives 25% crit chance, which is wonderful. So any crit damage is going to be a great multiplicative bonus. Obviously, you can modify some of these rings based on the encounter you're doing, if you're mobbing or not. Honestly, just comfort picks too if you like something else more. For our relic and our fragments, we're going to run Reprocessed Heart because it's going to give us mod power conversion for 25 seconds. And because Corrupted Deceit isn't like normal Deceit, we cannot be charging the mod every single time that we shoot it off because Corrupted Deceit has an overtime effect where the blade is out, which means we're going to be needing a bunch of extra mod power to be able to regen our mod and keep weak spotting all the time. So this is a great relic for that. Then I put in range crit chance, range crit damage, and weak spot damage because those are exactly the types of damage that we should be doing the whole time. Just to highlight our traits really quick, I found ammo reserves to actually be really nice because Deceit does not have much ammo. I think its base is 4 full mags, which would be 48 bullets. So you run through those very quickly on this gun, I found. Swiftness for movement speed so I can strafe better, same reason for footwork. Spirit for mod regen because we want to keep our mod up as much as possible. Potency just so our buffs were guaranteed to last through the whole fight. Longshot and Kinship are the 2 traits that come with our archetypes. I put some regrowth for health regen, and lastly I had Fortify for armor effectiveness, but I found I wasn't getting hit too much. So I just want to show off the mod Deceit and just explain why it's not quite as bad as some people say it is, but it's still not as good as normal Deceit for sure, nowhere near. So I just switched my build to be like super mod regen power so I can just show this really quickly. So as you can see, the effects stack. So if you hit it once, it'll go 3 seconds, and if you hit someone with it again, it'll go 3 seconds again, and if you hit them with it again, 3 seconds again. So on bosses, if you stop it inside of them and it's constantly doing damage, you'll keep it at the 6 seconds, and then for whatever reason, after a few seconds, it'll fly off. Don't worry about that. I have no idea what the heck this is. This blade has a mind of its own. But basically, using this method, you can keep tainted blood up for far more often than you otherwise could. Unfortunately, sometimes it's difficult to pull this off. And then let me just do a bit of a fight recap to explain what I was doing. So at the beginning, we're going to go through a buffing sequence of the Fairy Needle, and then the Fire Rate bonus, followed by our Hunter skill, and then our Relic. Then we do our Dog skill and Self-Proc Akari's Warband. And as you can see, our health is being sapped. And then when we walked in the Fog Gate, the first thing we did was shot our gun to proc him with Bleed and get Abrasive Whetstone up. We just switch back, activate our mod, start aiming to get Hunter's Focus and Tal'Ratha marked, and then we just start weak spotting. You can strafe that attack, he'll stagger before he even gets to you, which is so nice. Just keep pounding him until he gets back up. When your mod goes down and you get it back, shoot it back again. And that's really all it is. And the great part is that that guy sucks in his own minion and kills him because of how I positioned myself. Tal'Ratha will do his bite on the first thing that gets into his mouth, and the first thing that he goes and eats is his own minion, not me. As always, the only complicated sequence is really the buffing before the fight, but if you can get that down, there's no pressure. It's not that bad afterwards. But that's going to do it for this video, but I hope you did enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one. I will try to post that pretty soon.